And that's exactly what we here at the JIS want to remind our youth, to be proud of who they are and in so doing have the courage to do things differently. All month long, the island celebrates National Youth Month with a host of activities. So be sure to visit the Ministry of Youth and Culture's Facebook page, facebook.com/Ministry of Youth and Culture. Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have a lot in store for you, but first, something to think on, followed by the news.
To be young, gifted and black, your soul's intact. Don't forget, no, just to know yourself's a blessing. Don't forget, no, second guessing is regressing.
Family,
School,
church,
community.
all important agents of change in our society.
They influence what we think about ourselves, our surroundings, and how we see the roles of males and females.
Let's all work together for equality for all Jamaicans.
Let's make Jamaica a place where both males and females have equal access to a good education, good jobs, the best health care, and opportunities for the good of the country.
Males and females are different, but it doesn't mean they're not equal.
Let's build a Jamaica that doesn't discriminate. Become an agent of change.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Monday, November 4. The Office of the Prime Minister will be upgrading the sporting infrastructure of 23 high schools to the tune of $250 million. The High School Sport Infrastructure Improvement Project is being implemented with support from the Ministries of Education, Agriculture and the local government, along with other stakeholders.
Under this project, 10 schools will be targeted by the Sports Development Foundation in Phase 1 to the tune of $100 million during financial years 2014 to 2016. The Ministry of Agriculture, through the EU Sugar Transformational Project, has agreed to target yet another 13 schools which fall within the sugar transformation areas in Phase 1 of this initiative in the amount of $150 million.
Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites says his ministry is happy to support the initiative.
There will be a budget line in our estimates this year, a significant one, so that we can partner with the ministry in charge of sports so that we can do our share of the infrastructure upgrading.
On Friday, Minister Nita Headley, along with a team of sporting representatives, embarked on a high school tour to launch the project. Schools visited were Grange Hill High in Westmoreland, Lacovia High in St. Elizabeth, and Vere Technical High in Clarendon. The Princess Margaret Hospital now has a new and improved X-ray department to better diagnose patients. The department, which was recently renovated, now has a new digital X-ray unit purchased for $12.6 million. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson commissioned the unit into service on Thursday.
It will really bring to the fore the opportunity for faster throughput, more patients coming through, timely response, which means better and shorter time for diagnosis, definitive diagnosis. It also allows physicians to access the images remotely.
The X-ray department of the Princess Margaret Hospital was refurbished at a cost of $8.3 million. The scope of work included the upgrading of electrical work, as well as the installation of air conditioning units and tools needed for radiation protection. Meanwhile, plans continue to refurbish and upgrade the hospital into a state-of-the-art healthcare institution. The Accident and Emergency Department, which has already benefited from upgrading works, will be further rehabilitated at a cost of $40 million. A consultant is to be hired to oversee the drawings for the second phase of the project. Work is to begin this financial year on a new sewage system, and money has been set aside to purchase new air conditioning units.
Funding has already been approved to purchase a new infant warmer and an incubator, both totaling a total cost of $3 million.
The government is also looking at options for funding the construction of houses for healthcare workers. Emergency response equipment valued at $1.2 million has been donated to the Community Disaster Risk Management Group that oversees disaster preparedness efforts for 4 communities in Portland. The equipment includes blankets, cots, water boots, a 1,000-gallon capacity water tank, raincoats, rope, and tarpaulins. The items will serve the communities of Chepstow, Skibbo, Bybrook, and Catalina. They were donated as part of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency's Disaster Risks Management Sub-Regional Program funded by the European Union. Other components of the project include infrastructural drainage rehabilitation works valued at approximately $1.5 million and the development of a community disaster risk management plan. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller left the island Saturday for a 3-day official visit to Japan to further strengthen the friendship and cooperation between the two countries. During her visit, the Prime Minister will meet with His Imperial Highness Prince Akishino, as well as the Prime Minister of Japan, His Excellency Shinzo Abe. She is scheduled to address the IDB Japan Latin American and the Caribbean Conference, shaping the future between Japan and Latin America and the Caribbean. Mrs. Simpson-Miller will also meet with Marubeni, Nippon Light Metals, and UCC, all major investors in Jamaica with interests in electricity, minerals, and Blue Mountain coffee. The Prime Minister is accompanied by the Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, Philip Caldwell, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Anika Miller, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Ambassador Paul Robotham. Mrs. Simpson-Miller returns to Jamaica on November 9. In her absence, Finance and Planning Minister Dr. Peter Phillips is in charge of the government. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller and her team of ministers at the Office of the Prime Minister had busy schedules this past week. A roundup of some of those engagements next.
Prime Minister on visit to deepen cooperation with Japan. OPM committed to strengthening and building JADCO's capacity. And Sport Department initiates high school sport infrastructure improvement project. This is Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolf. As Jamaica seeks to improve its economic standing, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller left the island over the weekend to shore up international support for the country's economic program. The Prime Minister is now in Japan for a 3-day official visit where she is scheduled to meet with a number of Japanese investors and representatives of the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB. Mrs. Simpson-Miller will also use the trip to further strengthen the almost 50-year relationship with Japan with visits to the country's Prince and Prime Minister. Ahead of her Japan visit, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller led another meeting of the National Partnership Council, this time focusing on industry and commerce. At the meeting, Mrs. Simpson-Miller expressed her delight at the level of local and international interest being shown in the proposed logistics hub. She also insisted on the continued flow of information on the progress being made. The Council agreed on the acceleration of the competitiveness and business process within the country, noting that the island was leading the Caribbean in improving its business regulatory environment. Another National Partnership Council meeting has been set for mid-November, when the nation's leaders will be updated on the strategies being contemplated in the vital areas of crime and justice. Last week also found the Prime Minister holding talks with a delegation from the Noble Group Metals Department, the new marketing partner for Clarendon Alumina Production Limited's operation and alumina product. Mrs. Simpson-Miller welcomed Noble Group Metals' investment in Jamaica and expressed her hope for the development of a possible energy solution for the Jamaica plant. Earlier in the week, Mrs. Simpson-Miller urged females across the world to use their talents to improve the lives of others.
Women of the world, let us continue to do what we can do wherever we are placed in the interest of humanity. And we want to thank the men for their support.
The Prime Minister made the call as she was inducted into the International Women's Forum Hall of Fame in Vancouver, Canada recently. In her acceptance speech, Mrs. Simpson-Miller dedicated the honor to the women and children who are victims of human trafficking and those who are from poor and humble beginnings.
I also accept this honor from the IWF on behalf of the children of the world, so that they know that no matter what their circumstance of birth, they can attain all that they dream of if they persist and persevere. I also accept this honor in memory of my mother and father, and in particular, my mother, who taught me never to look down on anyone unless it was to lift them up.
Through its coveted Hall of Fame award, the IWF pays tribute to women who've made an impact towards improving society, inspiring others, and building better leadership in the world. Sport was a major focus for the Office of the Prime Minister this past week. On Wednesday, Minister without portfolio with responsibility for sport, Natalie Nita-Headley, disclosed that the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, had committed to helping the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, JADCO, strengthen its programs. Mrs. Nita-Headley said WADA representatives' two-day review of JADCO's operations last week were constructive and fruitful.
And we have come out of those meetings having a greater commitment to working closer together in partnership to ensure that JADCO advances and becomes not only world-class, but best in its class.
WADA's visit was prompted by an invitation from Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller on August 5 this year. And Mrs. Nita-Headley led the sports department at the OPM on a tour to 3 high schools on the weekend. In partnership with several ministries and agencies, the sports department visited the Grange Hill, Lacovia, and Vere Technical High Schools in a bid to assess the infrastructural needs of the institutions. The tour also served as the official launch of a $250 million high school sport infrastructure improvement project.
In a true spirit of joined-up government and transformational governance, the Office of the Prime Minister has consulted with stakeholders such as the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Local Government, the Sports Development Foundation, the SDC, and ISA to forge a pathway for success by improving sport infrastructure in high schools.
And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for the latest out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Bamboo growers, companies involved in the manufacturing of bamboo products. Get registered with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The BSJ is a member of the International Network for Bamboo and Rattan, and the government of Jamaica wants to develop a standard-led bamboo industry that could lead to job creation and economic growth. Companies, your products could be stamped with the regionally recognized Jamaica-made mark certification and the National Certification Mark. Get registered and receive quality training and international certification. For more information, call the Bureau's Special Projects Department at 926-3140 or visit the BSJ at 6 Winchester Road, Kingston 10.
Welcome to the FSC Minute. I am Nadine Newsom. Today we explore issues related to insurance, and my guest is Miss Rosemary Henry, Senior Director of Insurance with the FSC. Welcome to the FSC Minute, Miss Henry.
Thank you, Nadine.
Miss Henry, can an insurer cancel my insurance policy before notifying me?
By law, An insurer is required to provide notice to the insured before terminating a policy. This can be delivered or sent by mail to the last known address on file for the insured.
Can a company refuse to accept my application for the insurance of my motor vehicle?
A company can refuse an application for insurance if the individual is considered to be high risk. An example is where an individual have had several accidents in the recent past, they would consider to be high risk by that company.
And if my insurance company refuses to pay my claim, what are my options for a speedy resolution?
The matter may be referred to arbitration if all parties agree. Otherwise, the claimant can refer the matter to the FSC. The FSC will do their investigation where it has been established that the claimant has a right to settlement. The claimant also has the option to go to court.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. My guest today was Rosemary Henry, Senior Director of Insurance with the FSC. For the FSC Minute, I am Nadine Newsom.
As the government moves to increase public knowledge and involvement in the financial systems, the Jamaica Deposit Insurance recently held a financial symposium and fair to build public confidence and improve financial literacy.
There's a secret psychology of money. Most people don't know about it. That's why most people never become financially successful.
And the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC, as part of its 15th anniversary, is doing its part to promote this secret so that persons can make money. JDIC partnered with a number of financial institutions like the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, the Financial Services Commission, FSC, and the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, to host a financial market symposium and fair in downtown Kingston. The aim? To educate the public on all things financial. The JDIC helps to protect depositors. Say, for instance, I am a member of Bank X, and if that bank is unable to make payments because it fails, once that bank is covered under the Deposit Insurance Fund, I will be able to receive up to $600,000.
The Deposit Insurance Fund is constituted by some $9.1 billion, ensuring that there is recourse in the event of crisis, which we will do our utmost to avoid.
Financial institutions like commercial banks, trust companies, merchant banks, and building societies are covered under the fund.
At this point, its coverage extends to almost 100% of deposit accounts in the country and is consistent with the international standards requiring coverage of the majority of retail depositors, upwards of 90 to 95%. Indeed, we exceed those international targets.
As part of its corporate responsibility, the JDIC hosted a symposium and fair in 2013 to educate the average person about the financial market. The events were staged over a 3-day period at the BOJ Auditorium and the St. William Grant Park. The theme? Promoting financial inclusion through public education and awareness.
Which translates to economic inclusion, economic growth, and social cohesion. Each of these elements being an element of financial system confidence and stability.
Discussions were focused on different investment options, financing one's business, credit bureaus, and a host of other business-related topics. The highlight of the event was the financial fair at the St. William Grant Park.
This is a very worthwhile activity. Certainly anything that seeks to make our people more empowered to take charge of their own affairs is something that we support.
Over 70 booths decorated the park, showcasing information on the financial sector, our culture and heritage, as well as the services offered by government institutions.
This is about bringing persons into the formal financial system so that they can understand the products of the system, the regulations, how the system is regulated, why it's regulated the way it's regulated, and so that persons can be able to not only see the opportunities in investment and their finances, but also to understand the risks.
For years, we've been advocating financial literacy and trying to get the message out to Jamaicans that they need to understand their finances so they can make their money, make better money for themselves.
And one way to make better money, as outlined by Mr. Levy, is by trading on the stock market. That process is facilitated by stockbrokers who act on behalf of clients to buy a part of or sell their share of a company.
We are passionate about getting Jamaicans from all walks of life involved in investing, because you can actually start investing with small sums of money. $20,000, $30,000, you can start buying stock and making good money, and it's one of the best investments, if not the best investment out there.
We decided to partner with JDIC in an effort to edify the public, to let them know more about our company's products, and to help persons in small business to grow their business by accessing our finances.
Now, most members of the public were enthused about the wealth of information they received at the fair.
I have some pamphlet that I got, so I am going to read it and also pass it on that others can read it too and get interested in what's going on.
I hear about the different credit unions and so forth, and I want to join a credit union. Basically to save and, save while saving the bill on what you're saving on.
I'd like to join one of the bank partners and sort out some things.
The Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, protecting deposits for you and me. It's also promoting financial literacy for the average Jamaican, which will translate to economic development and prosperity.
This is my appeal, Jamaica. Give blood for it.
Give blood and give the gift of life. So safe you don't have to think twice. Do what you can for one another.
Yeah, man.
Be a hero, be a blood donor.
Yeah, me people. Watch it. Give blood. For your sister and your brother, save the life of another. You might never know. Give blood. As you love a life, you love many people want blood. The Father says so. One blood. Sign up today. Be a blood donor. Many people. One blood.
The Jamaica Logistics Hub.
The Jamaica Logistics Hub.
The Jamaica Logistics Hub.
A topical subject on the minds of many Jamaicans. What exactly is the Jamaica Logistics Hub initiative?
Logistics is the process by which businesses manage the flow of goods, services, people, information, energy, and other resources through the entire supply chain from source to end users.
The various components of the hub will allow Jamaica to capitalize on the increased trade expected to flow through the region when the Panama Canal expansion is completed in 2016.
We are not saying by that that all of the project would have been finished. We are saying that there is a core set of projects and programs that must be implemented.
The Jamaica Logistics Hub, a plan in action to increase trade and grow the economy.
Growing plants without using soil? Is that even possible? Well, on today's program, find out how the Waterford High School Science and Environmental Club is making all this possible.
Let me tell you about hydroponics. Let me tell you about hydroponics. It started in Waterford High. When littering, yes, it reached the sky. So we recycle plastic bottle and paper to make we farm in a big greater. But wait, it not done. When we recycle, yes, we have fun. Gather with tools and equipment, link up everybody, principal, classmates, staff and friends. That's why me say, give me water and give me paper. Pass the bucket, cause we third farmer. Put in the seed with the fertilizer. Make sure it's clean, we don't want to dirt ya. Hydroponics, and that are the mix. Dash where the soil, it is a quick fix. No land space, but agriculture.
The community of Waterford is sometimes viewed as a troubled inner city area. Yet the sheer creativity of the Waterford High School students is a wonderful example of blooming where you're planted. Their award-winning hydroponics farm captured the eyes of School Zone. So how did this project get started?
Littering was a major problem at Waterford High School. We started to recycle plastic bottles and the papers as one of our major projects. Now, as an entry to the UDC competition, we started to do hydroponic farming. This was introduced to me by my brother Damian Elton, and he told me that this is a great way to get children involved in recycling. So the project is called Urban Hydroponic Farming, using recycled plastic bottles and papers.
Talk about turning trash to treasure. But how does hydroponics really work?
Hydroponics is the use of growing plants without the use of soil. What we do, we use water and nutrients. At Waterford High School, as a framework, we use plastic bottles and paper. We use the papers because it holds the water. When we add the nutrients, it holds the water.
The students of the Science and Environmental Club who operate the project were in high spirits when School Zone visited, sharing with us how the project has benefited them and is helping them to be more environmentally aware.
I feel very enthused about my club having this project because we have contributed a lot to our school.
Well, the canteen at our school can get scraps from it to use to cook food for us at Waterford High School. And it reduces the pollution of plastic bottles in our environment.
I feel great about it. It's so fun.
Why is it so fun?
Because we get to plant and I love plants. It is very interesting and it is ozone friendly because you can use the plastic bottle in variety of different ways to conserve the environment from being polluted by plastic bottles.
Hydroponics. Yes, a long time. Farm up the dirt. Hydroponic water, pour that work. Charter land space, get bucket and paper. Seed with fertilizer, greater. Hydroponics. Hydroponics.
Crops from the bountiful buttered farm are many, including callaloo, pak choy, lettuce, tomatoes, and more. And these veggies are being put to good use.
In March, we got a lot of sweet peppers and peppers. We offer some to the canteen and the students brought home some.
Don't let land space be a problem because you can set up a simple structure in your home, on your veranda, at the back of your house, simply by using plastic bottles and paper. So don't make a land space be a problem for you not to farm.
The project has been an entrant in a number of competitions to date, including the Sagicor Visionary Competition and the Earth Day Competition. In May 2013, it was awarded first place in the Urban Development Corporation Helsha Environmental Competition, and the Waterford team members are high off their winning streak.
We are really excited about winning. We deserve it. We do a lot of work. We know that we are number one, excellence always, and the students are very excited and very into hydroponic right now.
To say that we're excited and happy is an understatement. We are really very proud of our young scientists. They have put our school on the map again, and they have made us as a school family really very happy and excited. They have lived up to our motto, excellence always, and we are proud of them.
Great work being done by the Waterford High School Science and Environmental Club. Their hydroponics farm, which is definitely impacting the environment in a very positive way. For School Zone, I'm Tamara McHale.
And that's how we close today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. As we continue to celebrate Youth Month, join us, won't you? Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or join us on Twitter @JISnews. You may also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for information on a number of activities being staged to celebrate Youth Month. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, encouraging you to reset the tea.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service. the voice of Jamaica.